Hello, everyone. Welcome to my broadcast of Truth and Lies. Today, I just want to talk about relationships, the problems that usually occurs in relationships, taking all the bullshit out of it, and just tell you the plain truth. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something about relationship that is quite unique to each individuals. No relationship, no two relationship could ever and will ever be the same. There are some people will like you to believe that relationship all plays on the same, or all relationship are the same and could be played on the same level field, which is not true. First of all, I would like to address this lie that been told to us for so long, that many people enter into relationship expecting that there's such a thing as happy ever after. There is no such thing as happy ever after, number one. And anyone who ever go into a relationship believe they could live happily ever after had given wrong information, been misled, and is lying to themselves. Relationship is a very tricky thing, and no one have any real answers but the two people who are involved in that relationship. For the two people who are involved in that relationship needs to figure out what work for them, not what somebody else tells you, but what work for your personal relationship. All right? There is no relationship without struggle. Every relationship has problems. There's not one person on the planet that are involved with another person without difficulty. Every relationship have its problem. Every relationship. There are some people out there would like you to believe that, oh, they have the perfect relationship. Their kids are perfect. Everything that's going in their life is perfect, which is a which it I mean that is some bullshit. All right. If you sit among your friends, hear them telling you that, or when you're sitting in a little circle and everybody's talking about, oh, what's going on with their husbands or what's going on with their wives, acting like everything is perfect, tell you how good everything is. Look, don't be fooled by it. That is a facade. That is some bullshit. That when you hear your friends or associate talking how wonderful the relationship is and how wonderful their friends are, please don't buy into it. It is meant to mislead you. And the problem with that is when people talking about, oh, well, my husband is so wonderful. Oh, well, my wife is so great, and so on and so forth. Nothing wrong in compliment your loved one, but not to the point of misleading your friends, acting like as if you have the perfect relationship. There is no such thing as a perfect relationship. Every relationship have problems, some more than others. But nothing is more damaging than when a person is pretending that they have the perfect relationship. And then 2 years, 5 years, 10 years later, you hear what? That person got divorced. And you're like, oh, how come? Because in your mind, you thought, because they put on a great show, you think in your mind that they have the perfect relationship. Some people have perfect public relationship, know how to play the role, know how to act, and when they get among they're friends, they act the part, but when they get home, they don't speak to each other, they don't talk to each other, they go to separate bedrooms. That's just the reality of it, because there's a misconception that you believe in this idea there's such a thing as a happily ever after. In order for any relationship to work, number one, it cannot be a 50-50 relationship. I'll say that again. No relationship could survive on a 50-50. The idea of it. Every relationship has to have 100% all the way down from both sides. Because if somebody come into your life and you decide you're bringing 50% and they're bringing 50%, with the idea that will be 100%, that is some bullshit. There's no such thing as a 50-50 relationship. It does not work. Every relationship have to be 100%. In order for a relationship to survive, it only could survive on the basis of 200%. Your partner bring 100% and you bring 100% every time. In school, there is no such thing. When a person attends school, college, university, whatever, all right, there is no such thing as a 50% passing grade. Well, how do we expect that in a relationship that we could bring 50%? When God's name does the other 50% go? I mean, who are you giving the other 50% to if you're not bringing 100%? Every person need to bring 100% into every relationship. If not, that relationship is going to be rocky. It's going to have a lot of problems. Don't be misled. Cut out the bullshit. Figure out what works for you and your husband, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend. Don't let your relationship be determined by what you hear outside or what your friends tell you that work for them. That what works for them, the chances are will never work for you as a person. Each one of you have your own individuality, and that's the only way to work at it, not by what somebody tell you. But the issue is, the problem usually becomes that in many relationships, and this is a very dangerous premise, is that I call it the comparison problem. Comparing your wife, comparing your husband to somebody's wife and somebody's husband. That in itself is already a problem. That in itself is already the antidote for creating disaster within your relationship. Anytime you're in a relationship, you cannot allow yourself to compare your loved one to another person. All right? Because there are some people who are very good at magnifying the 20% they have in the relationship and make it look like it is 100%. Make it look so good that you're almost jealous of what's going on in their life. And remember, it's only 20%. You might have 80% going on in a relationship. Your relationship might be operating on an 80% out of 100. And yet still, you might be jealous of the person who make the 20% look like it is 100%. Be very careful of comparing your partner to another person. You should only be concerned what works for both of you, because your friends, their relationships suck too. It could be your brother, your sister, your uncle. I'm telling you, their relationship suck as well. Don't be dragged down the rabbit hole based on a false premise of what somebody is telling you based on how the relationship is working. They're lying to you. I'm telling you, they're full of shit. All right. This comparing, oh well, my friend's husband does that. Yeah, they might, but how often? Do they only do it when they know they're guilty of something? Do you know they only do it because they know, this might be only once in a while, but yes, still that wife, the husband, they make it look like they've been doing it forever? I believe that people need to start being honest with themselves. Stop comparing your loved one to another. It is just the recipe for disaster. The person who you claim you fall in love with, you need to understand there's a reason why you fell in love with them, or there's a reason why you got involved with them. All right? If that's not working for you anymore, you got to figure out why, but not by inputs from other people. Talk to your partner, talk to your wife, talk to your boyfriend, talk to your girlfriend, and be honest with them. Tell them, look, what's going on you're not happy with. And in order to make it work, you got to talk. That's the only way to solve it. Don't expect your wife to read your mind. Don't expect your husband to read your mind. That's some crazy shit right there. There's no such thing as reading each other's mind. If there's a problem, tell your partner there's a problem. If they're doing something that bugging you, tell them they're doing something that bugging you. All right. There's another idea we come across many times. People say, well, that relationship may not work because they've not been dating for so long. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the length of dating a person don't have nothing to do with the outcome of that relationship. Dating is, for the most part, is like a long resume that somebody who is looking for a job that put out their best, show you their best, and very rare show their true colors. The only time you get to know a person is when you actually start living with them. The bad habits, squeezing the toothpaste on the wrong end, leaving the hair over the sink, tub not being clean, toilet not turned down, toilet not clean, dishes left dirty, etc., etc. The dating process have very little to do with the outcome of any relationship. You could date I've seen people who dated for years, and when they decide to live with each other, the relationship doesn't survive. Why? Because there's a difference in dating and there's a difference in living with each other. We need to get the Disney version out of relationships. The story won't ever be always happy. There's no such thing, as I said before, as happily ever after. In every relationship, there are going to be moments of happiness. More for some, less for others. But that's just the fact. You won't be happy all the time. Sometimes you're going to be miserable. It could be because of your partner, it could be because of your past, but you got to figure out why are you miserable. If your partner is not living up to their end, tell them they're not living up to their end. In a conversation, don't talk down to your partner. That's another recipe for disaster. Stop talking down to your partner. If you have a problem, tell your partner. That's why they're your partner. Don't make fun of your partner, especially when you know who they are. If your partner is not a person who take so-called fun jokes, please don't do it, especially when you're among your friends or your family. Don't try to embarrass them because that never turn out well. All right. Not because a certain thing so-called work for a certain person, that doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Know who your partner is. That's the only way for a relationship to work properly. Knowing who your partner is. Talk to them. Relationship typically fails because number one, people assume that the relationship, because you claim you're in love, it should just happen. No, there's no such a thing as just happening. There's no business on the planet just happen. You got to work your ass off day in and day out to make it successful. The same thing with a relationship. When most people, the reason why the relationship fail, they get involved and they stop trying. They got married, they might during the honeymoon phase, the flowers, the phone call, the text, and everybody's like, "Oh, dear, I love you so much. I miss you already." Blah 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 blah, and it goes on. And then the honeymoon phase is over. You have to meet face with real life. Look, ladies, if you expect certain things from your husband or boyfriend, tell them. Man, if you expect certain things from your girlfriend or your wife, tell them. Do not expect them to read your mind. If you think your wife is flirting with somebody, gentlemen, tell her you're uncomfortable with them flirting with that person. If you think your husband is flirting with that person, tell them you're not happy or you don't feel comfortable with them doing it. Don't go home pissed off and angry and they ask you what's wrong and they said nothing is wrong. What do you mean nothing wrong? Something must be wrong. Tell them. Do not expect them to read your mind. If you think they hug a friend for too long, or the friend is hugging them for too long and you're uncomfortable, tell them. And please, please, please stop with this nonsense when people saying, "Oh, I'm not a jealous person." How the hell do you mean you're not a jealous person? Everybody's jealous. If you care about a person, you should have some sort of jealousy about them. I mean, jealousy, healthy jealousy is showing your partner that you care about them. If you're not jealous of some man or other woman talking to your partner, there's a problem. You're telling them you don't care enough to actually to be jealous of somebody's flirting with your wife or your husband. In order for any relationship to survive, you got to work just as hard as if you're trying to get a promotion at your daily job, trying to climb the corporate ladder. You got to work that hard. Remember your part in the family or in the relationship. Knowing your assignment and do them if you truly care about your partner. Relationship don't just work. It take real work. In order to survive, speak to each other. Talk. Use words. Say what's bothering you. Because if you don't, it just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, and then you explode. Ladies and gentlemen, Most of us have grown up with this saying, stick and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. Bullshit. Words have everlasting consequences. Whatever you do, try your best not to speak hurtful word to the person you claim you love. You can't take back those words ever. All the sorry on the planet will never take back those words. Your partner will always remember those words. And people like this, I did mean, how? Of course you meant it. You tell your partner that they're not good at something or they suck at this. You call them their name. You tell them the thing that you know bother them the worst, and you expect to have a good relationship. How is that impossible? You talk down to your partner. You talk down to your husband. You talk down to your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you wonder why they check out. Use your words wisely, or preferably don't use them if you don't have anything positive to say. We always hear that saying. If you can't say good, don't say anything at all. Because trust me, when you speak those words, you can't catch it back. You can't take it back. All the sorrow in the world not going to help you. Your partner is going to harbor resentment towards you. And it could create more problem. And then something else will happen. And then it adds up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you claim you want to be in that relationship for a long time, and there's no guarantee, there's no book, there is no perfect remedy to make any relationship work. But what I'm saying to you, if you speak your words to each other, there's nothing wrong with positive criticism, not in the sense of hurting a partner, but to tell them the truth if you want the relationship to work. Don't shell up. Don't say, the men. No, tell your partner what you think is wrong in order to get it fixed. Work hard at a relationship. Go out, have a Brazilian wax. Men, have a manscape. Shave your nose hair. Do all these things. Keep your hygiene up. Ladies, shave your legs. Do the things that you knew in the beginning that turn him or her on. Because if we stop trying, any company that stop trying to compete, somebody is going to take over. Someday somebody's going to snoop in and take your seat at the table. Relationship is no different. You got to work hard to try to keep your partner happy. Do the things that you know they love to do. If you can't do it every day, do it once in a while at least to show that you care for them. If not, somebody is going to snoop in and start eating at your table. Cut out the bullshit excuses. All right? Try to get a passing grade in a relationship. More than 50%. 50% is not a passing grade. That's a failing grade. You cannot go to any university on 50%. Your relationship cannot survive on 50%. Stop comparing your partner to other partners. You know who they are. Speak to them because you know who they are. When you met them, you know who they are. And the truth is, as time goes on, we all grow. We either grow together or we grow apart. The question is, are you willing to grow with each other? Because if you're not willing to grow with each other, you are going to grow apart. That's just the reality of it. Work hard at your relationship. Try hard. Cut out the bullshit and the nonsense There is no such thing as happily ever after. The Disney version of relationship is some bullshit. It does not work. The only way for it to work is to speak with each other, tell what each other expect of each other. When you were dating, you had the excitement. You know what it is. You know what gets you going. You know you can't wait to get home to see him or her. The problem is most people stop trying. They stop taking care of the hygiene. They start getting overweight. They say, oh, well, we already married already, I already have him already, and then they got lazy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get lazy, somebody else is going to take your spot. And ladies, you know what your husband like. You know what your boyfriend like. If you stop trying, how can you expect him to still, he might love you, but loving you doesn't means equal attraction. I'll say it again. Being in love with a person doesn't equal attraction. If you let yourself go, that attraction will die. And he still could love you. But you know what's going to happen? He's going to start looking outside. And vice versa. Men, stop being slobs. Check your hygiene. Shave your balls if you got to shave your balls to keep her happy. Shave your chest. Shave your armpits. Shave your nose hair. Shave your ear. The hair that grow in your ears. Something is turning it off. Find out what it is. If your sex life is dying, find out what it is. Because the chances are, if it's not a medical problem, somebody is cheating on somebody. So you need to do what it's necessary to keep your relationship going. Forget about what other people said. Forget about what other people suggested. You know what make your partner tick. And don't use the wrong stuff that make you get a partner pissed off at you, because it's just going to make the relationship worse. Ladies and gentlemen, happily ever after is bullshit. Hard work is required in every relationship. Hard work. Just as hard as you work out there to help people, your friends, or at your actual job you do, it takes the same hard work at home with your partner. There's no such thing as cruise control in a relationship. You got to put your work in. Speak positive and wonderful things to each other when you can. There are days that you won't, because that's the reality of it. There are days that you just want to choke your partner. You get so angry at them, but be very careful of what you say. That's just the reality of it. That's real relationship. That's how relationship function. There's no perfect relationship. No matter who tells you that, there is no perfect relationship. None. None. Zero. Nobody have a perfect relationship. Can we do better? Yes, we can. In order to do better, the only way we can do better, treat each other the way we know they deserve to be treated. Treat your husband the way, make him feel good. Treat your wife, make her feel good. If you know she loves flowers, buy her flowers every now and then. If you know she loves chocolate, get her some chocolate every now and then. If she loves massages, whatever it is, if she loves her feet rubbed, do it. But cut out the bullshit and the assumption that your partner should read your mind. It's bullshit. It does not work. It's not true. It's a fairy tale, and fairy tale are not true. Cut out the fiction about relationship. All relationship take hard work. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to your partner. Compliment your partner. Tell your partner that you still love them. That's the only way to help in any relationship. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is my broadcast, Truth and Lies. Please subscribe. Please like. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.